CIT 1121 Packet Tracer 1783 Troubleshooting Challenge. Take a quick look at this one. This is a really cool lab. You've got some problems on the network. They've built some issues into the system. And you've got to go through all of your IP addressing information to figure out what is correct and what is incorrect. So one of the first things you're going to want to do is check your IPv6 and IPv4 information against this table and see if it jives. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a look at the other parts that they have for the scenario. So they mentioned that after you update your network, some of the devices are misconfigured. Correct them. Check your PCs, check your web, see if you can hit your web server, R1, deal with your switches, see if your switches are set correctly, and all PCs should be able to access R1 using SSH. So we check our SSH configuration on router 1. So they give us some login password information, they give us some subnet information, and based, just from this one, from the last one, this one's got 100 hosts at the bottom and 25 or 50 and 50 on the top two. So we're going to need a /26 across the top, another /26, and we're going to need a /25. So that will really utilize all 256 addresses in the 192.168.1.0 range, or check that, 172.16.1.0 range. And they've gone from, it's a little bit of a different space. So we're going to use 0 to 63 here, 64 to 127 here, and 128 up to 255 here. Everything that they teach you in these classes says don't subnet, don't do your CIDR notations that way. But they did. So it is what it is. So let's take a quick look and see if we can find some things that are incorrect about our configuration. So let's open up with IT. Excuse me, and let's see what kind of configuration IT has. And IT's IP address should be 172.16.1.1 with a /26, and it should have this IPv6 information. And just right away we got a problem, right? Address is supposed to be 172.16.1.1. We've got 192.168.1.1. Gateway is supposed to be, in this case, would be the last usable address in this case, would be 62, but it would be 172.16. So let's go ahead and change those numbers. So let's just do that. And let's do this. And that should be pretty good. I think we scored some points there. Yeah, we did a couple points. Good. Let's check the IPv6 information, and you're going to find that it is correct. Okay, cool. All right, so let's hop out of there, and let's take a look at marketing. So let's go take a look at marketing. Marketing is supposed to be 172.16.1.65, 172.16.1.65. That's supposed to be a /26. This is a /26. The default gateway is 192.16.1.126, which is the last available address, which is the de facto standard for this particular lab. So that all looks pretty good. No issues there. If we look at the IPv6 information, it also seems to be correct. So that seems all right. Let's go ahead and close that, and let's take a look at R&D. And R&D's IP address configuration is 172.16.1.129. It's a /25. It is a /25. The last available address is listed as a default gateway. That looks correct too. All of this looks good. So let's just let's try a couple of things here. Number one, let's just go straight to the router. Let's take a look in the router. So we can do a show run on here. We've got some IP addresses and some basic information that's working. That looks okay, pretty much so far. How about this? Show IP INT brief. And if we take a quick look at that, we're going to see a glaring error here. If we look at G0/1, which is connected to marketing, we're going to see this comes up as 172.168.1, 126. Somebody had 192.168 on the brain, and they got this address configured incorrectly. So let's go ahead and fix that. So we'll just do config T. intg0/1. Remember, when you have one element that you can change, you can just change it. You don't have to do a no and then add something else in. You can just do a 1. Whoops. It's /26, so that's 192. And that issue seems to have been resolved. That looks pretty good. So that's pretty good on our router here. A couple other things. Let's check. It does say that we're supposed to be able to SSH in from this device. So let's do a quick show IP SSH, and let's see if SSH is running. And SSH is running. Pretty cool. Version 1.99. Normally we would go to version 2, but I think that that's like a packet tracer deal. So no big deal there. Let's do a show run and see if all the elements that we need are here. Host name is configured. We know that. Enable secret is there. That's pretty good. Interfaces are configured. Domain name is configured. These are good things. Interfaces again, an access list, some IPv6 routing stuff that we've never talked about in classes, and we'll get to at another date. And then we get to this, which is a problem. Line VTY 0/4, exec timeout for 5 minutes. That's cool. Login local. That's cool. Transport input telnet. That's uncool. And so we're going to want to go ahead and fix that. So transport input telnet, not so great. Also, way up here near the top, if a username was configured, which we're going to need for SSH, it would be up in this space right here, and it doesn't show us that. So that's kind of one of those things you just got to get used to. So let's go ahead and fix those two problems. So config t and line VTY 0/4. And once again, this is a single opportunity command. So we'll just go ahead and change that. We'll put SSH in there. That looks pretty good. And the next thing we do is have to add a username and a password, which is admin1 and admin1 PA55. So we'll go username, admin1 secret, and admin1 PA55. And that should give us some points, and it did. And we're looking pretty good on the router. So we should be able to SSH into this device at this point. So let's do a quick exit from there. And I don't know, we can give that a try. So we can go up to IT, and from the command prompt, we'll do an IP config. And we believe we have this set up correctly. We'll just do a quick ping, 172.168.1.62. And that seems to be working. And we can do an SSH-L, and we'll do admin1 and 172.16.1.62. And it's looking for a password. Let's just go en. Oh, shoot, no. Whoops. ADMIN 1PA55. Sorry about that. Hey, we're at the prompt. Anyways, let's go ENPA55. Let's go ENPA55. There we go. And we're SSHing in. So now we know that's working. So that's pretty cool. So show sessions, no open sessions in there, so that's cool. We'll exit from there, we'll exit from there, and everything looks like it's working pretty good. The next thing to check, we should check our switches and see if their information is correct. So one of the things we can do here is a show run, see what's going on here. And if we get to the bottom of our show run, we're going to look at our IP addressing information here. So we got 172.16.1.61 with a /26, which is consistent for the network. The gateway is 62. That looks correct. Let's go down to switch 2, and let's do the same thing. let's see what we got on this one. We got 172.16.1.125. That's in that second space. 255, 172.16.1.126. It would be the last address between 64 and 127, which is really, really good, but it's between 64 and 127, and that would be a 64 block address, and this is subnetted for a 32. So very sneaky, very sneaky. So the switch is not in the same subnet as the PC, but it is in the same subnet as the default gateway. And one of the things that we do talk about is the subnet mask should be consistent between all the devices. So if we just open the router back up here, and we just do a show IP-INT brief just for fun, and we take a quick look here. Oh, that's not going to help us, but that's okay. This is 172.16.1.126. If we look at let's just do a quick show run. And we look at that subnet mask here for this interface. It's on the subnet. It's a 192. And if we look at the PC, this one's going to be a 192 also. We have 255, 255, 255, 192. On the switch, it is set for 255, 255, 255, 224, which is wrong because that is not going to give us the same amount of space. That's going to start at like 96 and not start at 64 where we want it to. So we want that to start at 64. So let's go ahead and change that on the switch. We're just going to change that piece of information right there. ITVLAN 1. 172.16.1.125, no problem there. The correct subnet mask would be 192, and that is squared up good. And looks pretty good. All right, great. Let's go ahead and take a look at switch 3. And I swear I cannot type in this password. Holy cow. Hey, there we go. And let's see what we got here. So we got 172.16.1.253, 255, 128, 172.16.1.254. Hey, that all looks pretty good. I'm not really sure what we're missing. Let's go ahead and check the results and see where we're at here. And everything looks pretty good. Oh, hey, there's an IPv6 addressing issue on R&D. I missed that one as we went through that the first time. Let's go back and check that out. So R&D, IP address configuration. Oh, yeah, there's an extra 2 there. So, oh, man, can't believe I missed that. Let's look at that. So that's a :2::2, and that should take us to 100%. All right, fantastic. Okay, that's all we've got for 17.8.3. I hope you enjoyed it.